Ladies and gentlemen, please put down your coffee because what you're about to see might cause spontaneous giggling, mild disbelief, and maybe, just maybe, the urge to buy a car that looks like it hopped out of a biology textbook. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most unintentionally adorable creations ever to buzz down a European street, the 1955 Messerschmitt KR200, also known as the cabin roller or cabin scooter. Yes, the three-wheeled bubble car that looked like a fighter jet crossed with a frog and sounded like a blender full of angry bees. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Car History, where we celebrate machines that make you question the phrase German engineering. So, go ahead, smash that subscribe button like a two-stroke engine running backward, because that's literally how this thing reversed. So, what exactly is a Messerschmitt KR200? Well, to answer that, we have to rewind to post-World War II Germany, a country that had lost its factories, its planes, and its permission to build anything that could fly. Willy Messerschmitt, the man behind the Luftwaffe's most famous fighter planes, suddenly found himself grounded. His aircraft empire was clipped. So, what do you do when you're an aeronautical engineer who can't build airplanes anymore? You build the next best thing, a car that thinks it's an airplane. Enter Fritz Fend, a fellow engineer who had been designing tiny motorized scooters for disabled veterans. Messerschmitt took one look at Fend's design and said, "Ja, but what if we made it faster and weirder?" And that's how the KR200 was born, a machine that looked like a warplane's escape pod that got lost on the Autobahn. From the outside, it's impossible not to smile. Two big round headlights stick out like frog eyes, the body is long and skinny, and the whole thing sits so low to the ground you could practically step over it. The clear acrylic canopy opens upward, fighter jet style, letting you climb in instead of opening a door like a normal person. Inside, there's no steering wheel. Nope, you get a handlebar like an airplane yoke that controls the front wheels. And you don't sit side by side either. You sit tandem, one behind the other, like a pilot and co-pilot. It's perfect for romantic dates, assuming your idea of romance is sitting in a noisy metal torpedo with your partner yelling, "Are you okay back there?" over the sound of a two-stroke engine screaming for mercy. Speaking of that engine, it's tiny, just 191 cubic centimeters, one cylinder, and 10 horsepower on a good day. But because the KR200 weighed less than 500 pounds, about as much as a decent refrigerator, it could reach 90 kilometers per hour or 55 miles per hour if the wind was feeling generous. And yes, that's fast enough to make your goggles flap. Now, remember when I said it ran backward? I wasn't joking. The KR200 didn't have a conventional reverse gear. To back up, you literally restarted the engine in reverse rotation. That's right, you turned the key, the engine spun backward, and the car went in reverse. Genius? Madness? Or both? Probably both. Driving one was an experience. It buzzed, rattled, and bounced like a caffeinated bumblebee. Every gear change felt like winding up a toy that didn't want to play. And yet, somehow, it worked. People loved it, because in the 1,950 seconds, cars were expensive, fuel was pricey, and the KR200 offered something Germany desperately needed: cheap, reliable mobility with just enough flair to make you smile while freezing inside it. It was efficient, practical, and easy to fix. Students drove them. Young couples went on holidays in them. Entire families piled into these things with luggage strapped to the back like an airborne snail. In a world rebuilding from rubble, this three-wheeled frog gave people freedom and just enough chaos to feel alive. And if you still think it was just a novelty, think again. In 1955, a man named Helmut Fahr took his KR200 to the Hockenheimring racetrack and drove it for 24 hours straight, setting a world endurance record of over 1,500 miles. The little car that looked like a toy proved it could run with the big boys, just slower, louder, and cuter. Of course, the golden days didn't last forever. As Germany's economy soared, people traded their bubble cars for Volkswagens and BMW's cars with heaters, radios, and something resembling personal space. By 1964, production ended, and the KR200 quietly hopped out of history, but it never really disappeared. Today, collectors adore them. Restored examples shine under museum lights, their canopies sparkling like fish bowls. And every time someone climbs inside, they grin like a kid about to break the sound barrier at 30 miles per hour. So yes, it looked like a frog, sounded like a mosquito, and had less horsepower than your leaf blower. But the 1955 Messerschmitt KR200 was a triumph of creativity in a time when Germany couldn't build planes, but refused to stop dreaming about flight. It wasn't fast. It wasn't powerful, but it moved millions of people both literally and emotionally. Thanks for watching Car History. If you enjoyed this story about the world's most aerodynamic tadpole, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you dare to drive one. Because history isn't just written by the winners sometimes, it's driven by the weirdos.